Mega Man is a franchise that has been going strong for a very long time. Right now, we might be in a little bit of a dry spell of getting new Mega Man games, but we're still getting a ton of collections and re-releases of Mega Man games that people love. And there really was a long period where we were constantly getting new Mega Man games of different styles, different style of platformer or RPG or spin-off, whatever. There was a Mega Man game for you somewhere out there. Until there wasn't. Until there was that period where there were no Mega Man games because they were all either being canceled or they were not released worldwide, or if they were released, they didn't last long. And tonight we're going to take a look at those Mega Man games. This is the canceled era of Mega Man. Real quickly though, I do want to state that this is not a, super duper deep dive on all of these games. This is more of a general look at what these games were, what the history of Mega Man was like at this time, the developers behind it, what was going on with Capcom. We're trying to cover a lot here, but if you want more information about any of these games in specific, there's a ton of articles, essays, and videos, and I'll mention those while we're talking about these games if you want any more specific information about a certain game during this video. Real quickly, I also want to talk about that era I mentioned earlier, where it felt like you could not throw something without accidentally hitting a Mega Man game. If you went to any store, there was a Mega Man game on the shelf, whether it be for Nintendo, PlayStation, portable, it didn't matter, there was a Mega Man game out there. And up until 2010, which was the release of Mega Man 10, there are a ton of them, and I tried writing down a list here of what games were out, and I know I am missing some. I'm going to try to include some games that were released either in Japan or in Europe, but may not be released in North America, but they would later come to America in some way. So, alright, let's take a look here. Of the classic series, we had 10 games. Mega Man X, we had 8 games. Mega Man Legends, 2 of them. Zero, 4 games. ZX, 2 games. Battle Network had 6 games, but 4 of those did the Pokemon thing, where the game split into 2, like a blue version and a white version. So there are technically 10 Battle Network games. Also, Star Force did the same thing. There were 3 of them, but split into 2, so there's technically 6 Star Force games. There's also the Game Boy games, which was actually my first ever Mega Man game on Game Boy. Those are their own separate games, by the way. They're not just ports. So there's 5 Game Boy games. There was also a remake of Mega Man 1 for the PSP called Powered Up. There was also the Extreme games, which were Game Boy versions of Mega Man X, but they're their own games as well. I'm out of breath. There was Mega Man and Bass, which was on the Game Boy Advance. There is Maverick Hunter X, which is a remake of Mega Man X. There was Command Mission, which was the Mega Man X RPG. Misadventures of Tronbon, which is the spin-off of the Legend series. There's Network Transmission, which was the platformer version of the Battle Network games that was released on GameCube. I know I'm missing some. There was Mega Man Soccer. There was sports games. Mega Man Soccer, which I remember that game being cool as hell. There was a racing game that I cannot remember the name of. There was Power Battle and Power Fighters, which were arcade games. I know I'm missing some. I know this list is incomplete, but just this list alone, all right? That's 59 games. 59 games right there. And like Mega Man 8, there's technically 2 different versions because the Saturn version has extra boss fights, and oh my god, there's those fucking weird versions of Mega Man 1 and 3 on PC. There's so many games. So, like that alone, we're getting close to like 60 games. So 60 games for an X amount of time, like that's incredible. And then there were no games. So that's why this era is so interesting, because it felt like you could not escape Mega Man to now there's none of them. So first off, we're going to take a look at Mega Man Universe. But before we talk about that game, we gotta talk about this guy. This is Keiji Inafune. And he is kinda infamous now. We'll get to that. But this is the guy who became... Well, we get a better pause there. There we go. Whatever. I just don't want to go with his eyes closed. Anyway, this is the guy who was the main brain behind the Mega Man franchise. And people would call him the father of Mega Man, which is a title he himself did not want to always roll with. He didn't make Mega Man, but he was very much the main decision maker for it. He was also someone in Capcom who pushed for the westernization of development and design with Capcom. The way this worked, Inafune did not like the idea of Japanese games being made just for Japanese audiences. He wanted the games to have more of a global appeal, a more Western appeal. And he was the main guy behind getting things like Dead Rising and Lost Planet out there. I fucking love Lost Planet, by the way. I love those games. But this idea of more Western focus with design and development became kind of a big thing with Capcom. That's how we got later on, like Ninja Theory doing DMC and changing how Devil May Cry looks, or Grin doing Bionic Commando, that super gritty Bionic Commando, which, by the way, I love that game. That game gets a bum rap. I don't agree. I think the game is great. But Inafune became the main person to really push that, which is a thing we will talk more about with other Mega Man games. So this is the teaser for Mega Man Universe, and it's using the music from Mega Man 2, and this was on purpose. Mega Man 2 was the main influence for this game, because what was the selling point for this is that it was like Mega Man 2, but with a level editor and like a customization aspect to Mega Man, where not only can you, of course, give him different Mega Man weapons like we're seeing here, like in previous Mega Man games, there was also going to be this other Capcom influence, like Ryu being here. We were also going to have other Capcom influences, like Sir Arthur from Ghost and Goblins. You would be able to play as these characters, or like kind of do a mishmash of these characters. So like, Mega Man with Sir Arthur's lance, or something like that. So this kind of customization aspect was like, it's almost like a Mega Man Maker, a level editor, customized Mega Man, different versions of Mega Man to play as. And one of the things that they showed off was this kind of, at the time, was cute and funny, which was introducing bad box art Mega Man as a playable character. That is a reference to the North American cover art for Mega Man 1, which you can see here, where it is this ugly looking Mega Man. And he was going to be a playable character. We're going to talk more about bad box art Mega Man in just a little bit. So here is the actual gameplay trailer for Mega Man Universe, where they show off the different versions of Mega Man. Each Mega Man played a little differently, like they might have jumped a little higher, or they would have shot less projectiles. Even level design would be a little different. But yeah, it's Mega Man 2. We only got a chance to really see like the customization with the level editor or the Mega Man customization in screenshots. Also, really quickly, the band that's playing right now, this version of Sparkman's theme from Mega Man 3. This is a band called The Megas. They are a Mega Man themed rock band. My band, Trash Burger, got to play a show with them. They are wonderful. I am a massive fan of this band. I was so happy to hear their music in this trailer. Like, the Megas are fantastic. But yeah, this is Mega Man 2. It was a Mega Man 2 with editors, basically. And once Inafune left the company, it never was officially stated that that's why the game was canned, but shortly after, we didn't hear anything much else about this game, and then that was it. It was let go, and we never got a chance to play this game. Some people in the press did get their hands on this game, and from what I remember, like, the general reaction was like, it's fine, but I would have loved to have played this, but unfortunately, we will not get that chance, and that was the end of Mega Man Universe. I did enjoy the trailer. I would have loved to have played it. Next up, we have Rockman Online. This was going to be the Mega Man MMO. And like Mega Man Universe, it was also going to have some crossover appeal, where this was going to be a mishmash of the classic series, the X series, a little bit of Zero as well. And this was going to be released in Korea only. The way it was going to work is it was going to be a side-scroller MMO. It was going to play like a Mega Man game. You're going to have 3 classes. You're going to have an X class, a Zero class, and a Duo class. Duo being from Mega Man 8. But real quickly, when I tell you, I watched this trailer over and over and over and over again. I ate this shit up. There was another animated trailer that featured more on X and other characters from X, like you could see Zero and Axel, and there's the Yellow Devil, and along with all these other Mega Man X characters. This was the coolest thing for me, but again, this was never going to come to America. It was only for Korean audiences, and look at how cool these bots look. I'm sorry, I can't get over it. I love the designs here. Oh, this trailer is so cool. This is taking me back, man. But yeah, Rockman Online. There is some gameplay footage, not a lot, but there is some, and we'll take a look at that real quick. As I said, not a lot of gameplay footage came out, and when it did, it went through specific channels, which is why there's a lot of watermarks on a lot of this footage. But what we can see here is a multiplayer online Mega Man game, showing off the different classes, showing off the worlds, and also showing that it did play like old school Mega Man. It's side-scroller. It's in a 3D graphic style, but still has that 2D perspective. And if I had to hazard a guess, like probably like a close like game comparison to how this could have played like, is probably something like Dungeon and Fighter. But there you can see Zero doing signature moves as a duo hopping around. Look how sick that Cut Man looked. But yeah, again, Korea only. Would probably have come to America if it had some more leverage underneath it, enough of a player base underneath it. But the big unfortunate thing is the company that made this game went by the name NeoWiz. They went under a restructuring, and this game got canceled along with that restructuring. There are the Mega Man killers. That's amazing. I would have loved to have played this game. I really would have, but never got a chance to get hands-on with it because the game never officially came out. It was only going to be for one part of the world, and here's another Mega Man game on the pile that just got canceled during this time. So this is continuing that crossover idea that happened during a lot of this era of Mega Man. And this was a game that was actually released. This was a fan-made project that Capcom had heard about and then offered some assistance to the development and release of this game. And you can see, got that Mega Man 2 intro, like a lot of Mega Man things. We will never stop referencing Mega Man 2. But the other big shtick at this is what it's crossing over with. Street Fighter. This is Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. This was a game where you play as Mega Man against Street Fighter characters, where all the levels are redesigned to look like Street Fighter levels, and you fight all the characters as the Master Bots. In my memory, this game was fine. I remember when its initial release, it had, I think it didn't have any save feature, like not even a password system. You had to play it all in one sitting, and then they changed that and re-released it. The level design I remember being okay. This was looked at as like a, this is nice, this is cute. Would love an actual full-blown Mega Man game made by Capcom developers. It was kind of some of the general view of this game because, you know, we've talked about some of the Mega Man canceled games, but there was some more Mega Man stuff we're going to get to that caused this game to have like a bit of a, this is nice, but type of response. This is a game that actually did come out during this time and is still part of the whole crossover shtick that Mega Man is doing a lot at this time. This is aptly titled Rockman Crossover, where you played as a new Mega Man design called Over One, and this was released in Japan for iOS and then later Android. And this is an early free-to-play game where pay to win is definitely the name of the game here. And it's played kind of like an endless runner where you're on a track, you can only jump and shoot your enemies. A lot of Mega Man X stuff is in this game, and the bosses, it then turns into like a turn-based RPG. And this game went over like a fart in church when it came out. So here is what gameplay footage was found when the game first came out. This was recorded by the good people at the Mega Man Network. And the main thing you're going to be doing is you're collecting cards, you're collecting pieces, getting all of the stuff to then customize your Mega Man. And they said this is a redesign of Mega Man called Over One, and I actually really like the design. And this is basically an endless runner. You're just jumping and shooting. But the way it looks and the way it's kind of just the general speed of it all, it feels rough. Like, this is it. This is the game. This is how it looks. This is how it plays. This is pretty much every level. The levels are really short, and the boss battles are really tough. And you hit that pay to win wall. There's a YouTuber named Zero Master who did a great review of this game, talking about its faults. And it's a bummer this exists, because like this is an okay concept on paper, but the execution just feels poor. Even if this is a free game, like this is a free game, yes, but Street Fighter Cross Mega Man was also a free game, and this just feels so much cheaper. There's Kalinka, hi Kalinka from Mega Man 4. But this game also was shut down, and it's now gone. We would later get Mega Man X Dive or Cross Dive, I'm not sure the proper pronunciation. I think it's X Dive, which started as a mobile game and is now its own thing. The full online services of that game, I believe, are shut down. Now you're getting the offline version if you want to get off of Steam. But this is it, and no one was happy. Speaking of poorly received crossovers, Street Fighter Cross Tekken also came out around this time. And for the PlayStation hardware, there were special guest characters. One being bad box art Mega Man, which at this point, the joke felt played out for Mega Man fans, especially this design of Mega Man. With all the Mega Man cancellations, no one wanted to play this goofy-ass version of Mega Man where it feels like Mega Man is being treated as a joke. And this game was poorly received. People were not fucking happy with this game, with how Mega Man looked in it. And this was just one of those seemingly like, what is Capcom doing right now with Mega Man? So here is gameplay of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, a fighting game that seemingly no one liked. Street Fighter fans didn't like it, Tekken fans didn't like it, fighting game fans did not like it, fans of Capcom did not like it, and Mega Man fans did not like it. This game was so poorly received that the idea of a Tekken Cross Street Fighter has seemingly been thrown out. That's never going to happen. And I remember hearing that apparently this game was so bad that it almost killed the idea of like more Capcom fighting games. That might be an exaggeration, but I believe it. This was at the time when people were just not happy with Capcom's business practices. This game had a lot of kind of shady DLC where it was like on disc DLC where you had to pay to unlock characters that were already on the disc. Other fighting games had done that, but I think at this point people were just like, this is the last straw. It also had this gem system that no one was happy with, and just the general look and feel of this game, it just wasn't that great. On top of, for Mega Man fans, on top of throw bad box art Mega Man. At this time, you gotta remember, it's been a few years now, feeling like, of canceled Mega Man games, of Mega Man feeling like it's just, no one cares about Mega Man anymore. at Capcom. And then this game comes out and you see this goofy ass version of Mega Man in this goofy ass fighting game, and it felt like Mega Man was being treated like a joke here. So Mega Man fans looked at this and was like, why even bother putting him in here? It's for PlayStation only. He's not in other versions of the game, and he looks like shit. And are you ever going to give us an official Mega Man game ever again, or is it only going to be these goofy-ass crossovers? So this just went over really poorly. I think there has been a little bit of people lightening up on this particular design of Mega Man, but it was just the bad timing and the bad game that it's attached to that people were just like, this sucks. I don't want to look at this Mega Man. I don't want to play this game. I would love to actually have my official new Mega Man games. Pretty please. So super quickly, I just want to talk about some other Mega Man fighting game stuff, since Street Fighter Cross Tekken really did not go over well. There was also Tatsunoko vs. Capcom for the Wii, which had Mega Man Volnut from Mega Man Legends. Roll and Zero were also playable characters in this game, on top of the Mega Man being playable in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. So, and of course, Smash Brothers. Putting Mega Man in Smash Brothers is a huge deal. So Street Fighter Cross Tekken was probably one of those like Mega Man crossover fighting game things that no one really liked, but whenever Mega Man is in other fighting games, it seems to go over really well, and I remember really enjoying this game. This is not part of the Mega Man cancellation. This came out before all that stuff kind of came to a head, but I thought it'd be nice to mention this game. Also, if you want to learn more about the Mega Man fighting game side of things, I highly recommend Matt McMuscles or Maximilian Dude. They do breakdowns of a lot of these games and go into the history of them and why a lot of these games ended up failing. But I will say for this game, which was on the Wii, I had a friend who had this game, and her and I played it a lot. I tried getting really good with Mega Man Volnut. I never did. And yeah, I thought it was just nice to mention this game. I like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. If you like what I do, please subscribe to Class Cabinet. We talk about video game history, we do streams, we do short stuff as well, and there's also going to be a really big stream here on YouTube on March 1st and March 2nd. We're doing the Retro Weekend. 2 12-hour streams playing a bunch of retro games, and Mega Man games will be there as well. So if you want to see more video game history and video game streams, please subscribe here to Class Cabinet. It really helps a lot. So this was the big one for me. This totally speaks to the things I like. But this is Maverick Hunter. This was the Mega Man X gritty first-person shooter. Now, this game was never officially announced. We only knew about this game's existence once Polygon did a report on it, which you can find. It's a really good article. I'll have all video and article links underneath the video. But this was a game that was made by a company named Armature Studio, who was made from ex-Retro Studio developers. So the guys who made Metroid Prime were going to work on this game, which I take a look at this and I want to play this. But this also speaks to the kind of stuff I like about first-person shooters, and I don't mind a lot of gritty kind of games. Like, look at this. Mega Man X just wielding, or is that a rocket launcher? That's sick as shit, dog. But like I keep mentioning the Bionic Commando that I really liked, but you know, this is at the time when Capcom was doing a lot of stuff like this. Bionic Commando, DMC, which I also kind of liked. What Resident Evil 5 and 6 turned into. You know, this was still that kind of that Western approach to things that Capcom was doing a lot at this time. Like I mentioned, this game was not officially announced. It was canceled in development before anyone knew its existence, and this is a game I would have loved to have gotten my hands on. But I can see Mega Man fans, which was something that was talked about a lot when this article was released. Mega Man fans looked at this and was like, well, thank God this was never released. You know, this isn't Mega Man. You take one look at this, how will you know this is Mega Man? Why couldn't this be an original game? Why does it have to have the Mega Man name on it? And apparently there were talks that this was going to be like the next big thing. There was going to be one game where you play as X, and then like Maverick Hunter 2, you were going to play as Zero. So there was a lot of stuff here that could have possibly turned into other things for Mega Man, but this game was canceled. We will never see it for sure. We'll never see this concept returned, and I would have loved to have played this, but I can totally see now why Capcom would take a look at this and go, we're not doing this. Sorry, guys. Armature Studio would then later do development for a game called Recore, which Keiji Inafune then worked on as well, and they are now making VR stuff for Meta, but yeah, I would have loved to have played this. I really would have loved to have played this, just for the curiosity of it, right? But that'll never happen, unfortunately. Just another canceled Mega Man game on top of the pile. And here is the mother of all Mega Man cancellations, the thing that started this train of Mega Man cancellations, Keiji Inafune leaving Capcom and stuff after that, which we're going to talk about soon. But Mega Man Legends 3. There's so much information about this that if you want to learn more about this, again, I cannot recommend Matt McMuscles enough. What happened on Mega Man Legends 3 does a massive deep dive on all of this. But yeah, Mega Man Legends 3, after all these years, was finally shown off. It was going to be 3DS only, and also there was going to be this whole like community project part to it where you could vote in what design you want for a character or their name and all this extra stuff you would then later see in like Kickstarter pledges where people who, you know, put money to a Kickstarter could vote on all these things, yada yada. But this was all being done before that became common, before that became a little more figured out. And oh man, Mega Man Legends 3's cancellation was felt so hard that I gotta talk more about this. Oh my god, there's so much more to talk about. So let's talk about the Legends Dev Room. This was the aspect of the game where people could vote in and actually have a hand in some of the design process. This was Capcom gauging interest in Mega Man Legends 3. I want to say that one more time. This was Capcom saying, hey, Mega Man Legends 3 might happen. Use this dev room. We want to see people involved and interacting and talking, and that will let us know if Legends 3 should happen. Because the game was never officially like, oh yeah, Mega Man Legends 3 is going to come out. It was never officially announced like that. It was only saying like, without saying, basically, hey, do you want Mega Man Legends 3? Then you gotta go get involved in this stuff, otherwise it's not happening. Wild. Who would do that? To say, like, hey, this game that's going to come out, it's probably not going to come out. It actually hasn't been officially greenlit, so this game may not actually happen unless you talk about it a lot. Otherwise, all this stuff we're showing off is actually never going to happen. Who the hell does that? And also during this time, Inafune and Capcom were not on the best terms, and Inafune then left Capcom. And all these other Mega Man projects that he was involved in, this Mega Man Universe, Maverick Hunter, Mega Man Online, all of those games, one after the other, gone. And that's not all because Inafune left, that's not all because of just Capcom, but this was definitely a hard time to be a Mega Man fan when the sequels and ideas and crossovers and all these things are just not doing well or getting shut down, and this was the start of it all. I was on Mega Man forums and websites when Legends 3 was announced, and the excitement and love, it was infectious, man. You could not help but feel the love, and then it was canceled, and it was like your heart was broken. So after Inafune left Capcom, he started a new company called Concept, and through Kickstarter, he announced the Mega Man spiritual successor, Mighty Number 9. And I'm not going to go too deep into this. I highly recommend Stop Skeletons from Fighting. They did a bunch of videos going over the history of all of this, and I can't recommend it enough. But this game stunk. Oh boy, this game was unfortunately bad. When it was first shown off, the love for it was really strong. There was so much passion behind this, and through Kickstarter, where it raised a lot of money, people were like, yes, I want this game. This is the Mega Man game we've always wanted. After all the other Mega Man games have been canceled, it's great to see this. But it came out, and it was bad. I was so bummed by how bad this game really was. We can't talk about Mighty Number 9 without talking about this awful, unfunny trailer, the one with the anime fan on prom night line. God, this trailer is so not funny. But, you know, Mighty Number 9 tanking as bad as it did, it was heartbreaking because we've had years at this point of Mega Man games being canceled and crossover stuff not really making fans happy. This looked like the next best thing, like the second coming of Mega Man, and it stunk. It was just a bad game to play. It felt like it was made by people who don't know how to make Mega Man games, which is nuts to think, because like Inti Creates had worked on this game, and they worked on other Mega Man things, and they make great games. But this one just bad across the board. And, you know, when Legends 3 got canceled, some ding-dong on Capcom Twitter was trying to say, like, oh yeah, the reason that game didn't do well is because fans weren't interested, and, like, kind of blame the fans on the cancellation of Mega Man Legends 3, in which case there was, like, an apology made after the fact. But oh, this trailer sucks. But people were like, okay, if we're not getting Mega Man, well, at least get Mighty Number 9. We're going to put so much money into it. And then it just sucks. Just sucked. But we did end up getting an actual proper Mega Man game. Many years later, we got Mega Man 11. I wish I liked Mega Man 11 more. I'm not as into it. I can see why people love this game, though, especially like its whole double gear system where you have these two gear systems where Mega Man can either slow down time or he can hit harder. It's neat, and it's an idea I would actually love to see still being iterated on in other Mega Man games. And I was so pumped to see that this was announced. Like, even if I didn't like the game, I was just happy to finally get a new Mega Man game, since the last new Mega Man game we had got was 2010 with Mega Man 10. So this was a big deal, and we have not got any new Mega Man games since then. We've gotten collections and re-releases that apparently are selling really well, and we did get X-Dive, but nothing like an official Mega Man 12 or anything like that, and I hope we do. We have not got anything since, and there's still a love for Mega Man. Like, they did that secret level episode based on Mega Man, and it was great. Way too goddamn short, but but it was great. And there's still love for Mega Man, and I wish we had more Mega Man games to share that love. But yeah, Mega Man 11, not a bad game. Way better than Mighty Number 9, though. I cannot stress that enough. Mega Man 11 over Mighty Number 9 any day, man. I swear. Mighty Number 9. Good gravy. But yeah, this was the last new Mega Man game we have got after years and years of cancellations. And that's that. That is the canceled era of Mega Man. A bunch of games that either came and went or games that never came out at all. And you gotta remember, man, from Mega Man Legends 3 being canceled to the disaster of Mighty Number 9, it really did feel like Mega Man is done. We're never going to get an official developed or published Mega Man game from Capcom. It's only going to be fans carrying this torch now. Mighty Number 9 was supposed to be, or was gunning to be, this next big thing. It was going to be the games, it was going to be cartoons, and it was so bad. Everything surrounding that game, unfortunately, just stunk. And Inafune and Concept did also another series of Kickstarters, even around the time of Mighty Number 9's development, that was supposed to be a Mega Man Legends spiritual successor called Red Ash, where it was going to be a game and an anime, and those Kickstarters failed. They failed terribly. Inafune kind of vanished off the public eye after Mighty Number 9's disastrous launch. He did do some work on a game called Recore that apparently is not too bad. It did get like some kind of definitive edition thing that fixed some issues when its initial release. And apparently that game is pretty solid. I really need to give it a try. And if you want to play a good Mighty Number 9 game, I highly recommend Mighty Gun Vault Burst, where Beck is a playable character. That game's actually pretty solid. But yeah, Mega Man 11 really did feel like the shot in the arm Mega Man fans needed to make us feel like, okay, Mega Man is more than just marketing. He's more than just merchandise or to be a crossover in some fighting game. We can still get new Mega Man. And we have not got new Mega Man since then. We did get that Secret Level episode, though. That was really cool. Secret Level is that animated anthology series where every episode is based on a video game. The Mega Man one was great, but way too short. But it was really good. And the Mega Man comics that Archie did were also really good. And there's always some talk that Mega Man is going to be turned into a movie. There was that Mega Man cartoon that was geared more towards younger kids. That cartoon was actually pretty alright. But again, no new Mega Man game. It's cartoons, it's comics, it's merchandise. And will we get a Mega Man 12? I hope so. Will we get a new Mega Man series? I really hope so. But I don't think we're ever going to have this type of period again where it feels like Mega Man is long forgotten. He isn't, but he's definitely taking a long sabbatical.